Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gammatrap, one word, and today we're going to be making a transparent GIF. You could say GIF if you want to. We can still be friends, probably. Essentially, what we're going to be making is something like this. It's a transparent GIF of Shax that I made from Destiny 2. Transparent GIFs are fantastic if you're like a streamer and you want to use a cool alert that speaks to you in some kind of way or is funny that you really enjoy. That's a wonderful use of a transparent GIF. There's other good uses, but sometimes it's just nice having a GIF without a background or a weird box around it. So this, by the way, is the GIF that we're going to be cutting the background off. It's essentially my take on that, dancing chibi anime girl. I don't know what it's from. I'm sure I'll get a comment explaining to me why I am the worst person in the world. But I use it as a reference to make this. It's a little dancing Mara doing the same dance as that little "Don't Hate Me" other anime girl. I animated this one frame by frame, and I thought, a little 5th grade Mara would be adorable. Also from Destiny 2, which seems to be a theme around here. I'm not sure if you know this. So you can see it right now. She's dancing inside a white box. That's just how the GIF is made. We're going to be cutting her out of the box, so she's just dancing by herself. And here's the GIF inside Photoshop. When you take a GIF and open it in Photoshop, it'll separate each frame by the layers. Now, if you look down here, you'll notice what look like more layers, and those are actually frames that go on the timeline. That's what that thing's called. That's why I sounded like I was in a 90s educational TV show. But for you to see it, because it won't automatically pop up for the most part, you go up to Window and come down to Timeline. Make sure you click that and the thing's checked. And that will open up this window down here. Sometimes when you drag an animation or an MP4 into Photoshop, it won't have the frames. It'll have something that looks like that on the timeline. If you would like to see the frames, you would come down here to the bottom left and click these little squares. It says convert to frames and ask you if it's a good idea. And you say, yeah, sure, totally. And then you have access to your frames. And when you hit spacebar, it causes the frames to move or play. Now, I'm not going to go way into detail on how to animate or all the other intricacies of the timeline. That's several other videos worth of information. What we're doing right now is just cutting our little figure here of Mara out of the background. And now I've already kind of gone ahead and done this a bit. Let me turn the background off. And so this is kind of what it looks like without the background. She's just floating on the checkerboard, which means transparent. That's what's called the alpha channel. And she will just dance by herself, no white background. I made the white background kind of this dark gray because she's got white inside her. And if you want to get the entire background gone, white on white, kind of invisible. So this is just my little way of testing. So now let's go back to the fresh GIF, you could say. And we'll just pick any frame. 3 is probably fine. Let's zoom in a little bit. And just an easy way to handle this is first I'm going to turn the opacity off every other layer except for this one, just so you can see it. So now we're going to just grab our magic wand tool, and you're going to want to fiddle around with some of the settings, like, for example, the tolerances or the anti-aliasing or the contiguous. Contiguous means white that continues. So if we click here, it won't select the white inside Mara. It'll just select the white outside where it's just the white pixels. The tolerance, if you increase it, it will look for other shades of white or very light gray. And you could increase or decrease that as much as you need. If it looks like it's not getting close enough to the image that you want to cut out, you might want to increase the tolerance because it's seeing any difference in the pixels and how they look different. If this one's white and this one's slightly less white. With a low tolerance, it will just pick the one you select. If you increase the tolerance, it'll say, all right, they look kind of the same, and it'll pick them both. So now that we have the white of the background selected, we can just hit delete real quick. And that looks pretty good, right? This is the one I did the dark gray background. If you want all that around your subject, I mean, it's up to you, I guess. But if you don't, simple solution. If you can get this ring, it's very common in all this kind of stuff. If you can get this white ring of jagged off-white to just maybe 1 pixel, away from the subject. For example, here's the line of her hair, and this is only just 1 pixel, essentially, of white, like a little outline. If you can get that to about maybe 1 pixel, then this trick will work great for you. You're going to select your image that has no background. and you're going to go to Effects, Inner Shadow. You can do Multiply or Normal, whichever. Increase the opacity, increase the choke to 100, and the size to 1. That means 1 pixel. The distance at 0, otherwise it'll be all askew. And that's good. Now, here's some of the most interesting parts. Like, for example, with this, it's perfect because I just kind of drew her with a black line anyway. So having a black outline is fantastic and actually looks like it fits. To clean this up, because this is an effect, all I have to do is just erase, and it even adds the black outline wherever I put it. There we go. Just like that. And this is a perfect opportunity to use to just clean up the sides or the lines. If you don't like some jaggedness around, then just make sure that it's as clean as you can make it. This at 100% really looks fine. I'm not trying to split too many hairs here. And I wasn't the big fan of the weird kind of choppy white outline, but having a uniform black outline looks much better. So if you take the background away, you see a fantastic little drawing. And you just do this for every layer, and it won't take hardly any time at all. Okay, now that the background's all taken care of, what we gotta do is we gotta go to File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. And for matte, make sure you hit none, no background, and make sure that transparency is checked. You can preview it by pressing the play. And as long as you see the checker background, that means that the alpha channel or the transparent channel is preserved. And hit save. And there you go, easy as that. So here's a fantastic use of a transparent GIF or GIF, I guess. I mean, I'm not too picky. So as you can see, having a transparent GIF is fantastic. It doesn't have the weird border, the cumbersome box around it, and you can just place it kind of wherever, and it kind of fits on its own. If you would like to download either of these, you can do so in the link down below in the description. Also, feel free to check out my other tutorials. I've got quite a few of them. Some of them are more technical, kind of like this one, and a lot of them are just kind of artsy, if that's a term. Either way, I hope you find this information and video helpful and or entertaining. Give a like if you did find it useful. Give a dislike if you I don't have a good reason for that. Just give it a like. I think likes are best. Also, feel free to like if you actually downloaded either of these little GIFs here. They're for free to be used by anybody for pretty much whatever reason. Just trying to make sure it's tasteful. I know how the internet is. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.